Oh, I was there, hated the day. The day was a miserable day. I mean, it was a worst royal engagement I ever did, a royal wedding I ever did.
Actually, this does look like a moon bump to me.
Are you buying that excuse that Meghan Markle used a fake belly to protect her real belly? I'm not buying this.
What if I told you the world's most famous royal runaway managed to outsmart every camera lens on Earth? Not by stealth, but by PR. Strategy. Because when it comes to Meghan Markle, disappearing isn't an accident. It's an art form.
And I travelled the world with him, and I did really enjoy working with him. But, you know, now I really don't care if I ever see him again, because the way he's behaved towards the king and our queen and his brother and his sister-in-law is appalling.
While other royals serve duty, tradition, and decades of decorum, Meghan serves something else entirely. A steaming hot plate of self-promotion garnished with a sprinkle of victimhood.
She delivered it like an actress delivered it, an opera responded going, wow.
The woman could turn a photo op into a global event faster than the palace could say, protocol breach. Yet somehow the one moment every royal photographer waited for. That iconic pregnancy glow became the most forbidden image in modern royal history.
Archie Harrison, Mountbatten Windsor, you know, was the name, and had nothing to do with the royal family.
Arthur Edwards, the man who's photographed 6 generations of royalty, says he was told to stay away. Let that sink in. The same lens that captured Princess Diana's humanity was banned from Meghan's maternity. And while the cameras were locked out, the spotlight somehow stayed glued to her. Dancing interviews, documentary tears, and a Netflix contract thicker than royal etiquette. Meghan didn't just marry a prince, she married the algorithm. So, buckle up, because tonight we're not talking about tiaras or tabloids. We're diving into the story the palace tried to bury.
You're gonna see or hear Meghan Markle's belly pop. You're gonna see these people's faces. And I can tell you that one of these people is now speaking out.
Why no authentic bump photos of Meghan Markle exist, and what Arthur Edwards finally revealed when the silence broke. This isn't gossip, it's royal image warfare. They say every royal story begins with a cry from the balcony. Meghan's began with a press blackout. When most royals announce a pregnancy, the world turns into a camera flash. Storm. Kate Middleton steps out and suddenly it's front page history. Meghan Markle steps out and suddenly every photographer is told, stand down. You could almost hear Buckingham Palace pulling the fire alarm on the entire British press.
I mean, obviously when William was born and Harry was born and George and Charlotte and Louis, we got great pictures outside the hospital. I remember, and William and Catherine especially, they made such an effort to show the whole world their new baby.
Arthur Edwards, a man who's been closer to the crown than half the family tree, was left scratching his head. For 45 years, he's captured every royal bump, wave, and scandal in high-definition truth. But when Meghan's turn came, silence. No invitations, no photo calls, just a polite royal command to stay away. It was the kind of silence that screamed louder than any headline. And for a woman who claimed to crave authenticity, this was a disappearing act Houdini would have applauded.
What is moon bump theory? Well, basically, it suggests that Meghan didn't actually give birth to these children and that she was wearing a prosthetic bump. And of course, lots of medical experts have come out looking at that video and saying it's just impossible for someone who's literally 9 months pregnant and about to give birth to dance in that way.
Reporters began whispering, why the secrecy? Was it privacy or was it control? Because nothing says modern transparency quite like a media lockdown backed by palace security. Meanwhile, Meghan mastered the vanishing art of presence without proof. The public saw her everywhere, yet no one saw what mattered. The Crown's PR machine spun faster, the tabloids foamed harder, and Arthur Edwards waited for a photograph that never came. But if you think that silence was strange, wait until you hear what and who broke it next.
Meghan Markle has posted a cringy video of her and Prince Harry dancing in a hospital.
It started with a clip 5 blurry seconds that detonated like a grenade under Kensington Palace. Meghan Markle, 9 months pregnant, drops into a squat, pops back up, and spins like she's auditioning for Dancing with the Stars Royal Edition. Internet sleuths froze the frames, zoomed in, slowed it down, and suddenly the moon bump theory had its crown jewel. Medical professionals chimed in. No way a woman that far along moves like that. Twitter investigators sharpened their pitchforks, Reddit built timelines, and YouTube turned into a 24-hour pregnancy court. The headlines didn't say congratulations, they said illusion. And while the palace was busy issuing polite no comments, Meghan's PR squad was uploading soft-focus lifestyle photos that looked like perfume ads, glowing lighting, perfect angles, zero authenticity, because nothing screams real motherhood like a Netflix filter and an NDA.
I agree. I'm not a Meghan Markle fan, and I don't defend her, and there's all sorts of inconsistencies and hypocrisies, but, you know, she's an actress. She's not the brightest cookie in the basket. There's no way Kate would do anything like that.
But here's where it got truly bizarre. The louder the rumors grew, the quieter the palace became. Every unanswered question acted like oxygen to a wildfire. And when Arthur Edwards quietly confirmed that photographers were explicitly told not to cover her bump, the internet didn't see caution. It saw confirmation. Theories multiplied, loyalty divided, and one question hung heavier than a crown. If there was nothing to hide, why build a fortress around the truth? Every scandal needs its whisperer. In the Meghan mystery, that voice came from the shadows, a bystander who claimed to have seen more than the glossy press releases ever showed. She wasn't a royal insider, just another face orbiting the Sussex circus. But when she hinted that the picture-perfect story didn't quite line up with reality, the room temperature dropped to Arctic levels. Suddenly, inboxes went quiet, doors closed, and a chill of don't ask, don't tell rolled across anyone who dared to repeat her words. It was déjà vu for palace watchers.
The thing that strikes me is her lack of understanding and recognition of the role that she had or has in the royal family. And, you know, both of them have been on the record repeatedly saying they don't want to be living their lives through the lens of a camera and in a goldfish bowl and all of that. And then they take the camera into the most private of rooms where you're about to deliver your baby.
Think back to Paul Page, a royal protection officer. He once talked about what it's like to work behind the scenes at the palace. He even got a warning letter at his home. Stories like his show how much the royal family controls what people see and hear. For a time, the system around the monarchy has been set up to protect its image. It often uses pressure instead of publicly confronting people. There are reports about a witness in this story who felt pressure. At first they got phone calls. Then the calls became more serious. Messages from friends went unanswered. Job opportunities seemed to disappear. The situation got worse every day. The strange thing was that the more someone tried to keep the story quiet, the attention it got online. This person didn't have a title or a big PR team. What she said was important. It raised questions that news headlines couldn't fully answer. It seemed like someone wanted to hide the issue. In the family, loyalty is very important. If you step out of line, there can be consequences. Behind the smiles and public appearances, the palace works like a crisis management team. When there was a lot of speculation about Meghan, insiders say the response was strategic, not panicked. That's often how the royal institution works. It doesn't erase controversy. Instead, it manages it carefully. It's like an organization that has been working on its image for centuries, long before social media existed.
On May 6th at 3:02 a.m., Brockmore Cottage. This is a public announcement. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex used the services of a surrogate. We apologize for any misunderstandings. To this day, nobody has debunked that tweet as fake. In order for a child to be in the line of succession, it has to come from the body of the woman. Why would Meghan Markle be faking all those big stomachs? You know, that big belly, the belly swaying back and forth. She was huge. She was overdue. Now when Spare came out, we know that story is absolute horseshit.
Behind the scenes, the people who work at the palace spent a lot of time talking about how to deal with the media. They looked at every line of what they were going to say from every possible angle. They rewrote statements over and over again, making sure they were okay with all the advisors so nothing would make headlines again. Nobody wanted to be the one who got blamed if people started talking about it all over the media. The royal family has a saying, never complain, never explain. It sounds good. Really, it means they just stay quiet and hope people forget about it. The problem is the internet remembers everything. People can take screenshots, save clips, and keep posts, so old questions never really go away. While Meghan was in California building her image and trying to be seen as an important person, the people in charge in London were trying to be careful. They had to protect the family's reputation without making it seem like they were hiding something. The way they talked to people became very careful. Emails were sent secretly. When they talked to the press, they often did not give clear answers. Outside the palace, a photographer named Arthur Edwards was waiting with his camera. He was someone people were used to seeing, and his camera was a reminder that even the powerful people are worried about saying something they should not. Inside the palace, nothing was ever really thrown away. Information was filed away, marked as hidden deep inside the palace. The royal family is based on two things: tradition and what people think of them. When the story about Harry and Meghan got into areas like who would be in charge next. Even the most stable parts of the royal family seemed to feel the pressure. The British monarchy and the royal family were being watched closely. The Sussex story was a big part of that. The royal family and the British monarchy were trying to navigate this situation.
She is literally kneeling all the way down. One of those people reached out to me, but not before this person reached out to the newspapers, complaining that the palace was literally threatening her, that the palace had tried to bribe her, and when that didn't work, because she really dislikes what's happening and she wants to come clean, and she has been trying to tell people about it.
For a time, people thought the order of who becomes king or queen was a perfect plan. If one thing went wrong, it seemed like everything could fall apart. So when people on the internet started asking questions about the timeline, titles, and details of birth announcements, the palace's silence didn't seem dignified anymore. It seemed like they were trying to hide something. It's not the time the royal family's image has been hurt. King Edward VIII gave up the throne for love. Princess Diana spoke honestly. Hurt the royal family's image. Now people watch the family's drama on social media. Every tweet, meme, and video makes the royal family's rules into a topic. People don't talk about the family with respect anymore. They talk about it like it's a TV show that people pay taxes for. They're not just focused on who's in line for the throne. They're watching how the royal family deals with problems. The surprising thing is not who will be king or queen next. It's how fast the public can turn against the family. Today, one popular post on media can challenge what the royal family has done for centuries. When there are scandals, someone usually gets blamed. This time it wasn't a prince or someone who works at the palace. It was a doctor who didn't expect to be in the news. When the tabloids first said that a known doctor had delivered the Sussex baby, it seemed like a simple and perfect story. That story didn't stay true for long. It fell apart quickly, like a family's social media post that gets old fast.